Okay, so we're up to March, and in March we're going to be doing more core work. So this also as well relates to Manipura chakra. So Manipura chakra is always about our will, our drive, our determination. So great for kind of going ahead for the next few months anyway. Right, so in today's session we'll be finding our core, so making sure that we've not lost that connection there. Now, because we've done the previous months before, we've done legs, we've done hips. It doesn't mean to say that we've forgotten about those now, and it doesn't mean to say that they're done and that's it. We're going to tune in as well to these, so we need to have still strong legs and flexible and strong hips as well to be able to support our core. So for today's session, you're going to need, if possible, if you've got a chair, or you can use the edge of the sideboard or sofa or something like that, as long as it's not too squashy. So something that you can press your hands into with a little bit of height. So you've got a stool or something. You can use your sofa or sideboard to slide your hands under a little bit later on. If you're not in a room where that works for you, I've got a dumbbell at this side, so I'm going to be using that dumbbell to have and to rest my hands on, so I'm not going to throw that up in the air. And a couple of blocks as well, so that's all you're going to need. You're not going to need your belts or anything in today's session. So once you've got those things and you've gathered those up, then join me back on your mat. So sit yourselves in a nice, easy, cross-legged. So preparing for your practice. So once you come onto your mat, sit then closing your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Tuning in to how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally. And know that when you come onto your mat, that this is a time now for you to spend solely on yourself. You can just disconnect from anything else outside of the room and just spend this time just for yourself. So bringing your palms together. And bringing the thumbs in towards the heart center. Set yourself an uplifted intention. And if you're working with affirmations as well, then set yourself a positive affirmation, something that you can carry through into your practice. After all, working in our core or Manipura chakra is all about our strength, our power, and moving us forward. So, have something, make a nice strong affirmation. And then bring your thumbs up to the Ajna chakra. Your center for intuition, your inner knowledge. And then taking the hands up over the crown. So your intention is then out there. And then draw the hands back down towards your heart center. And release the hands down to the legs. Okay, so we're going to do a few rounds of Kapalabhati breathing. So Kapalabhati breathing, if we break the word down, Kapal is forehead or the skull, and Bhati is to do with shining. So we put the word together and it is basically like skull shining or clearing this way. So, and clearing, especially up here in this Ajna chakra. So when we think of up here and we're working with the Manipura chakra, these two have a bit of a connection. So the connection is like whatever we feel going on in our gut, then often goes back to the brain, or even vice versa. So what's going on in the brain can affect us what's going on in the gut. But there's actually more things going on in the gut. The responses and everything that are going on in the gut are far greater than what is actually going on in the activity in the brain. So the gut tends to tell us first what's happening. So these two work closely together. So Kapalabhati breathing. Now, there's a few contraindications as well with this one. So just be mindful of that. You're not going to be doing the Kapalabhati breathing if you have really high or low blood pressure, if you have hernia, and the other was glaucoma, or if you've had abdominal surgery. So just avoid it for now. That's not to say that you can't come back at another time, but just avoiding it for now. If you are avoiding it, then just sit and just focus just nicely on your breathing. If you are going to be doing the Kapalabhati breathing, this is where we breathe out, we breathe into a comfortable, your normal breath, and then short, sharp exhalations. And each time you exhale, the belly is moving back. You can place your hand on your belly as well, and that will help just to get the direction of where the movement. Okay, now notice as well that the shoulders don't move and the rest of the body stays quite relaxed. So let's have a go. So from sitting up nice and tall, again, you can place one hand on your belly. So we're going to breathe out fully. Breathing in. Again, breathe out fully. Breathe in just a normal breath. And then begin. Now keeping going, noticing each time you exhale, the belly will snap back. So the hand could be there. If the belly's not moving, you can push the hand a little bit just to guide it, to give a bit of guidance so the belly knows in which direction that it's going. So you're exhaling, belly moving back. Keep the shoulders and the rest of the body relaxed. So just keeping going, and then start to slow it down. So just a normal pace. Take a few rounds of normal breathing. And while you're taking those rounds of normal breathing, we're just going to then, after those, we'll just prepare just to do it again for a second time. So on this second one, we're going to exhale fully, and when we inhale, come to a normal breath, and then start your Kapalabhati breathing. Okay. So hand can go onto the belly. Exhale fully. Inhale to a normal breath. And then begin. Now keeping going. Now, Kapalabhati breathing, what is it good for? Now, this is going to really help to kind of get the fire going in your belly. So that the fire in the belly is called Agni. Now, this really helps to burn off any toxins of anything that we don't really want in the belly. Also helps to fire up your metabolism. And that also helps as well with reducing fat. So if there's any extra fat around the belly, it can also help with that. So, but we're thinking of the benefits of just detoxifying the body, first of all. So just normal breathing now. Okay, and then we're ready to start. So grab hold of your 2 blocks, first of all. Now your 2 blocks are just going to go back behind you, like we have done lots and lots of times before, where we just have them up as if you're wearing them up like a backpack. Stretch away through the heels, draw your toes back up towards the head, pulling up on your thigh muscles, pressing down with your thigh bone. Let the shoulders roll back, bringing the head back to the floor. Now remember, you can always place something underneath your head if you're not wanting the head to go right back. Also, when you're in this position, we are going to be coming up from here. So if you do need to, then place something there, or even just, have another block in there so it's not so far to come up. So from here, take your arms back over the head, interlock your fingers, stretch out through your index finger, interlocking the thumbs, point the toes. Keep that tailbone tucking under, keep squeezing back through your belly, and then when you're ready, we come up to sitting, pulling all the way up, nice and tall, and then rolling back again. That's 1. Come back up and back down. 2. 3. 4. 2 more. 5. 6. Okay, we have to come up to bring us back up to sitting. So once you come up, move your blocks just out of the way. You're going to lay yourself back down, and then the blocks are going underneath your bum. So think wide for your bum this time. So we're underneath there, and we're holding onto the edges of the block. My legs are going to be about hip distance apart, and my knees are looking up towards the ceiling. I'm then going to just make sure I'm drawing in, zipping up as I stretch my legs away, pushing out through the heels, just turn your toes in ever so slightly in towards each other, so it brings back that strength in your legs and your hips. Shoulders are rolling back, squeezing in through the belly, and then point your toes. So you're aiming the big toes in towards each other. Take your arms back, over the head, nice long stretch. And arms back down by your sides. And bring your legs back in, crooked knee position. Pressing the feet down, we're going to start to lift those hips. So press away through the legs so the knees feel as if they're heading further away. So then we have the hips lifting up. We're pressing down with the arms so the chest is lifting up. We want to keep still drawing back through your belly. Now we can start just to move your blocks out of the way. We don't need those just at the moment. Keep the height, making sure that we're not just pushing up just with the belly. Make sure it is with your hips. So our hands can firmly press down to help to lift up a little bit more just in your chest. Hold here, just one more breath. Inhaling, exhaling, and then rolling back down. Now once we come back down, take your feet out a little bit wider, bring your arms out to the side, let the legs just go over from side to side. Just freeing off just in the small of the back. Okay, and then from there, then we can just draw the legs in towards the chest, a big squeeze in, lift the head up and bring yourself in so you're forming a nice tight ball. Now keep hold of your right leg, stretch your left leg away, you can place the head back down again. Keep hold of that leg, squeezing in, pulling up, getting that compression just into the right side of your belly. And then bring your head up, bring the leg back in, squeezing in again, and then take hold with your left as you stretch that right leg away. Place your head back down, keep the leg squeezing in, just being careful that we're not pulling up right into making the pelvis level. Keep it level as you're drawing that leg in. And then again, pull the legs in, lift up, form a nice tight ball. Rock and roll to come up. Okay, so from here, we're going to then stretch away with the legs. We're going to point the toes. Hands are coming back about an inch or so back behind you, pressing down as much as you can to keep the chest lifted. Then we're going to start to push away through the legs a little bit more, lifting those legs up, lifting the hips, feet pressing down to the floor, squeezing in on the belly, so looking along the line, front line of your body, and then lift the head looking up. Hold here. And then releasing down. Okay, once we come down, then turning over onto your hands and knees. So take your big toes together, bottom back towards the heels. Rest the forehead down onto the floor. Again, when the forehead is down, it's making that connection, Ajna chakra, down onto the floor. So tuning in, when we're tuning into here, remember, right into the forehead, and we're tuning in also into our gut. So those gut feelings, that also brings in our intuition. Okay, so from here, so from lying with your forehead onto the floor, bring yourself up, hands and knees. Now from here, tuck your toes under, draw back a little bit through your belly as you pull back, and then lift up, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, your downward facing dog pose. So from here, the hips are up nice and high, pulling up strongly on the legs. Now bend and straighten the legs, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Now notice it's only really my legs which are doing that work. And this, yeah, the chest is moving ever so slightly, but not as much, anywhere as much as the legs. Okay, and then we can straighten out with the legs, lifting up with our right leg, look forward and bringing that leg through. So it comes up between the hands. Place your back knee down and then relax the foot. Take the leg over a little bit to the side, pressing down with the hands, working on the lift and coming forward with the chest. So the hips here are getting a little bit of a workout. Back leg nicely stretched out as well. Keep drawing in through your belly. And then bring it back up. Now bring the leg back in. Bring yourself, so if you slide your foot forward a little bit more, make sure you're not right up on that kneecap on the back foot. So we can slide that leg back just a tiny bit more. And then bring yourselves up. Now notice when you're here that you're not allowing everything to tip forward. So you might want to just pull back on the front leg, make sure that everything is level, and then bending that front leg again. So we keep the chest lifting. From here, taking the arms up. So you should feel a good stretch coming right from that back knee, or even from the back toes, and up along that side of the leg, the arm reaching up. Okay, bring your right hand down onto the right leg, left hand down to the floor, and let's take a little twist here. So hand is pressing down. If it feels too far away, then by all means grab one or two blocks if you want to encourage a little bit more of a twist if it's not quite happening. So you can place one hand down onto that, take the other arm and reach it up towards the sky. Okay, so we've had 3 breaths there. Bring that hand back down and then straighten out through the back leg and take the front leg back. So again, you're back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again. Make sure your belly's drawing back and then bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Okay, take your left leg up, look forward, bring that leg through, place your back knee down. So from here, take the foot over a little bit to the side, pressing down, opening up, edging your chest forward. Couple of breaths. Okay, we can bring that leg back in again, and then the back knee, maybe taking it back a tiny bit more. Bring yourself up. Now straighten out maybe again on that front leg, just so again we can get the hips level, and then bending that front leg. That's it. Good. So hips are level and take the arms up. Now from here, bring your right hand down to the floor, keep your left arm up towards the sky, pressing down. So again, we get that open feeling, space through the waist to be able to twist. Also getting a nice spinal twist there. And it loosens up a little bit into the shoulders. Okay, so one more breath. And then bringing that hand down. Straighten out through the back leg, and the front leg goes back to join it. Okay, come forward into a plank. Scoot your feet back a little bit and then bring your knees down. I'm going to bring the chin and chest down to the floor. Slide forward onto your belly. Bring the hands a little bit further forward and squeeze your belly back as we lift up, because there's a tendency to push the belly out to help us lift. So squeeze it back and then use the muscles in the back to lift up. So I'm just going to stop talking for a moment. As you're doing this, you're going to hold here for 3 breaths. Okay, and then come all the way down. Then bring your hands a little bit lower. Push yourself back up. Lift up into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again. Now I'm going to come forward into your plank again. Scrunch the feet back. If you can, roll over the toes, edging your hips forward. So we come into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. If it's too much, place your knees down on the floor. Keep your belly squeezing in, lifting up, legs strong. And then back over your toes, pulling all the way back, squeezing back through your belly, drawing back, bend and straighten the legs, bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Then look forward to the top of your mat and either jump or walk the legs forward. Rest your head down. Now I'm going to bend your knees. Take your arms forward, interlock your thumbs. Stretch forward. Now pushing down through the legs. Squeeze into your belly, pull all the way up. Reaching up. Take a slight back bend. Squeeze your belly still, squeeze your belly. And then back to upright. And bring your hands down by your sides. Okay, so a bit of strong leg just to begin with. So now this is where you're going to need your chair. So if I bring my chair in, see if it's a bit better on this side. If I bring it to there, you'll be able to maybe see a bit more. So hands are going to go onto the chair. You're walking the legs back. Now from here, you're going to be lifting up with your right leg, taking that leg back. Then we squeeze it in. So we're going to pull to the arms, then to the opposite arm, and then up through the middle. So just take yourselves back first of all. Let's get yourself, excuse me, nicely stretched out. Hands pressing down. Draw back through your belly. Okay, and then lifting up, lifting up with your right leg. Push the leg back. Now squeeze into your belly, start to round in and then bring that knee so it touches the outside of your right arm. Then take it back. Then we squeeze in again and we're aiming to touch towards the left arm. Then take it back. Then we squeeze into the center, bringing your forehead in, rounding the top part of the back. Squeeze in, and stretch the leg back. Okay, bring that leg down, and then ready for the other side. So draw back through your belly. Take the left leg back, up and back. Then we start to pull it in, take it up. So above the elbow of that left arm. And then stretching it back. Then going to the outside of your right. So squeeze in, pull up, and then back. Then up through the midline, so squeeze in, rounding out in the back, bringing the forehead in towards the knee if we can. And then take a stretch back. Okay, and bring that leg down. So from here, pull back and then bring yourselves back up to standing. Okay, right, so we really feel as if we're starting to engage here now. So if you want to just move your chair over, we're going to need that on the outside of your right leg. So first of all, we're going to do Trikonasana, and then it will be Paritta Trikonasana. So you can use the chair for Trikonasana if you want to, and have the hand down onto there. I'm just going to leave mine there for just a moment so it's clear and you can see what I'm doing. So legs are out about leg length apart. Let your arms float out to the sides. We're going to turn in with your left foot, turning out with the right leg, keeping the lift. Then exhale as you lengthen over to your right hand side, bringing that hand down. So your arm is up. Keep drawing back through your belly. Take one more breath here. And then push into your left foot, come all the way back up. Turn the feet back in. Just give the arms a little bit of a refresh, and then we'll do the other side. So turning in, turning out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen over. Drop the hand down. And turn, looking up. So the whole thing, you're just going to take a couple of breaths here, pushing back into the right foot and rolling out with the left. Nice long length through front, back and sides of the body. Arms stretching out. Okay, press into your right foot. Inhale as you come up. Turning the feet back in, just jump to bring the legs back in together. So a jump is going to hopefully bring a lightness and pulling into the body, pulling everything up together. Right, so let's work into Parivrtta Trikonasana. So this is where you can either have the edge of your sofa, or you can, if you're in the kitchen, you can do it on the kitchen worktop if you need it, if you need to on there. I've done it on there, it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to build this up a little bit by placing my blocks onto there. Hopefully you can still see me. I can't really turn it, I don't think, anywhere the way around. Right, so my right foot is going to go forward, left leg back. Now, let's not worry too much if your back heel is lifting. If you've got a sock or something handy, or if you've got a little blanket or something like that, place it underneath that back foot. So we can make sure that we get our feet established. I know for me, it feels a really big effort keeping that back heel down. So depending on your flexibility in your ankles, you may feel okay to have that foot down. So, if you need to, have something underneath it. Hands are going to be onto the hips. Now we're going to take our left arm and reach that arm up. Right hand is pulling the hip back as you exhale. Lengthen forward, lengthen forward, lengthen forward. Then bring your hand onto your support. So if you notice, my forearm, palm are facing up. So from here, my right hand is still into my hip. I'm going to pull that back, sliding the hand back behind. Now I'm resting onto this. So I'm going to push away, lift up, turn through the torso a little bit more, turning, 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 and bringing that arm up. Okay, so I'm not having to worry too much about me being in the balance. I can then work on focusing on the area which I want to, which is in the core. So I'm focusing on this area, twisting round and getting a nice ring out. If you are more advanced in your practice, you might want to bring that hand, rather than on the chair, you might want to bring it down, if you're working with a chair, down the chair leg. And then again. So working with whatever you feel works and fits your body. Okay, so after your next exhalation, bring your hand down, level yourself up, bring yourselves all the way back up, and then step your back leg in. Okay, just take a moment there. You might want to even bring your hands together. Just, again, recall your intention or your uplifting affirmations. And then opening your eyes and bringing the hands back down. So let's have a go with the other side. So if I move this around to this side now, in fact, I think I might show you more like at the back on me instead. I think that might be better, and then you'll get a better view all around. Okay, so your left foot, that's not going to work, is it? Where am I going? Right. So my left foot would be forward and my right leg back this time. And my left hand is into that hip crease, so pulling back at the top of the leg. I'm going to take my right arm up in the air and then exhale as I come forward, still pulling back with my left hand, bring the arm across. So it's going onto the chair, so it's going onto the block, I'm pressing away from it. So then I can turn, and I can bring the other arm up. Again, legs feel strong. The twist is happening through my waist, through the torso. If I do want to make it more challenging, like anyone else, if you want to, you can either bring it down to a lower point on whatever it is that you've got, or, you know, the chair leg, you can even work to there, and then turn and turn and turn. So we get a little bit more of a ring out. And then bring your hand back down, bring your hands onto your hips and come up, and then step it in. Okay, so let's just move that chair just out of the way for now. I'm going to come back to it just in a second. Blocks again can just go out of the way. Okay, so back again just into your Tadasana. Just roll your shoulders back. And then bring your arms straight out in front. Interlock your fingers. Stretch out through your index finger. Take the arms straight up. So pressing down with the feet, sucking in on your belly and lifting up, pulling up as much as you can. Okay, and bring your arms back down. So let's go into Parsvakonasana. Now with Parsvakonasana, again, we can use the chair if you want to use it, or we'll save that for when we do Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. So legs are going to go out nice wide stride, a little bit wider than last time. Should have mentioned, if you want your blocks, you can have your blocks by the side of your right foot, so the hand can go down onto those. So from here, turning in with your left foot, turning out with your right leg. Keep your hips and chest facing forward, arms out to the sides. Keeping a strong focus on zipping up and pulling up into the belly. Then exhale as you bend your knee. So remember, the hips should feel nice and open from the last months of working on the hips. So from here, we're then going to exhale, lengthen over as far over as we can. Bring your hand down onto the blocks. So remember, don't struggle with it because we're working on a particular area, thinking more of the core. So that the back leg is strong, front leg is bent, turning, turning, turning. You can keep the hand back behind you to turn the body a bit more, and then bringing the arm up over the head. So we have our 3 breaths there, then bringing the arm back, so focus on your core. That's it, as you come up, all the way up, turning that foot back in. Now, without really moving the legs, see if we can just move the blocks over to the other side, and then we're ready to go on the other. So arms out to the sides, turning in with your right foot, turning out with the left leg. Keep the lift, keep sucking in, pulling up. Exhale, bending the knee, good deep bend. Inhale again, keeping that lift. Exhale again, lengthen over, bring the hand down onto the block, push the knee back against it, squeeze your belly back, arm palm facing up, bringing the arm over the head. Okay, and then remember the foot pressing into the floor, belly squeezing back to help lift you back up and coming all the way up. Turn the feet back in, walk or jump, bringing the legs back together. Okay, so again, that'll bring a lightness and a springiness into the body. So let's try Parivrtta Trikonasana. Again, grab your chair. That's going to be a good prop to have for this pose. Or you can, rather than the chair, if the chair's too high, if you're already familiar with the pose and working, bringing your hand down to the floor, then you don't have to have your chair there at all. So I'm just going to take 1 block on there. So we're going to place our right foot forward, left leg, big stride back. Now bend the front leg. When we bend the front leg, make sure the knee, I know you can't see it quite at the moment, so your knee's on top of your ankle bone. Now, also as well, when we go into that, if you're anything like me, we tip the body forward a little bit. So straighten up with the legs, squeezing on the belly, keep your hips level, and then bend your front leg. Okay, strong in that back leg. Take your arms up, reaching up as much as you can. Bring your right hand down. Take your arm going across and placing inner arm, palm facing up. From here, we pull back in that hip crease, taking the hand back behind us, strong in the back leg. Again, we're getting a lovely twist out here, ringing out across your belly. Turn, look up. If it's in your practice, you can bring the arm up over the head. Again, there's maybe some of you, the hand might be down or right down to the floor, and it's croup, and it's crossing over, wobbling over, crossing over that front leg. Okay, but everyone work to the measure. If you prefer it here, the arm stretch, or with the hand back behind, then that's fine. Okay, one more breath. And then bring your hand round, bring the body round, bring the knee down to the floor. Just take a breather just for a moment. And then you can press down, lift back up, step that leg in. So nice and tall, rolling the shoulders back. Okay, so I'm going to show you on the, you'll see the back of me for the next one. So I'm going to do it without the chair, so it might make it a little bit clearer to see. But and when you do a lot of twists, when you really work into them and you're talking at the same time, it really does make you bare. So I know that I'm kind of getting deep in there because it keeps coming up. Not like you should be talking while you're doing this. Right, so I'm going to show you, as I say, without the chair there, and I'm just going to use the blocks this time to place my hand down onto. So I'm going to place my left leg forward, right leg, nice big stride back. We can come at it from both legs being straight. Keep your hips level and then bend that front leg, keeping this zipping up, pulling up as much as we can. Okay, I can straighten out my back leg a little bit more. Right, take your arms up, reaching up right from the hips, and then place your left hand down. So right arm now is going to come over. If you've got your chair, inner arm and palm facing up. Otherwise, you're going to place your hand down towards the floor or to the blocks. Pull back a little bit on your left hip. That hand can slide back behind you. Or if it is in your practice, the arm is going to come over the head. And a nice long stretch. You really do feel this across the belly. I'm just going to shut up now and breathe. Okay, and then start to bring it back round. So knee coming down to the floor just for a moment. Oh, can really feel that one. Okay, bring yourself up and then stepping it in. Okay, give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. Whew. Okay, right. So if you take your two blocks, you're just going to make them with a slight bit of a stagger like that. So they're going to go onto your mat, and then you're going to place yourself just near the... I'm just a tiny bit away from it. Okay. Now, sitting up tall, legs pulling up nice and strong, thigh bones pushing down. From here, holding the backs of the legs, pull the legs in. Now, if I'm holding onto the back of the leg, I can keep my body lifted, I can roll my shoulders back, I can bring just the tips of my toes onto the floor. Now, you'll see how the block is there, so it's going to help me and keep me propped up. So then I can bring my legs just up, so the ankles are in line with your knees. I'm holding on, and then placing my feet back down. Bring myself back to upright. Again, lean back a little bit, come up, not holding on quite so much this time. I can even let go, but keeping that lift. Blocks are in, help to prop me up slightly. In, back in, down, straighten the legs out. Can cause a little bit of cramp in the legs. Keep the legs pulling up, keep the thigh bone pushing away. That will help. Okay, so again, I'm going to go again. So pull back. You might want to just pull your blocks in a little bit closer if you felt like they moved out of the way. So pulling in, holding on, keep your chest lifted, shoulders are back. You can even look up a little bit, bring the legs up. See if we can get the legs up even higher. Holding on, holding on, holding on, holding on. Keep the thighs pressing away. And then bring the legs back in and down. Straighten the legs out. Okay, so the next one we're going to try is taking, so it's Paripunanavasana, which is a full boat pose. So we pull the legs in, we're going to take the legs straight up and then not hold on so much. So see if we can loosen that grip a little bit or even let go altogether and just stretch the arms out. So draw your legs in, keep your lift, stretch your legs up, keep the lift, bring your arms out. Keep the belly drawing in, keep the thighs pushing away, keep the lift, keep the lift, keep the lift. And holding back on, bring your legs back in and place them down. Okay, give the legs a little bit of a shake. Now, let's move the blocks and things out of the way. Let's move the chair out of the way. If we're going to be taking the... Not a slide, isn't it? Okay. So let's grab hold. I've got hold of a weight here, which I'm just going to place near the top edge of my mat. So I'll move those so you can see me a little bit more clearly. So if you've got the sofa that you're working with, then that's fine. You can place your hands underneath the sofa. So you'd be just with your hands right underneath. So this, I'm not really going to be able to lift it up too easily just with my arms. So from here, legs are out straight. So imagine your hands are underneath your sofa or they're clinging onto the table leg. So I'm going to point my toes. I'm going to keep my tailbone tucking under as much as I can. Now my hands are, I'm not really just gripping, it's more a case of pushing upwards. And when I push up, that's going to draw my shoulder blades like in and down. So again, I'm feeling on here, pulling in. Now from here, then I can, now we could do this two ways. You can either work both legs pulling up together, which will be so, or bring one leg up, then let the other leg follow. All right, so if the back is a little bit sore, then you might want to just bring one leg up, let the other leg follow. Or, you know, bring the legs in, just work with what you feel works best for you. So just make it challenging, but still sweet at the same time. So arms pushing up into my weight, and then I'm going to draw back in my belly, keep the tailbone tucking under, bringing the legs up, coming up to 90 degrees. Okay, so once we're here, we don't really want to feel as if they're pulling in even more at this point, just up to 90 degrees. Now I'm going to work each of the movements twice. So if you are working one leg, you're going to bring one leg down and you're going to work, you know, one leg, and then we'll do it again so you can get the other leg in. So, and for all the ones with working two legs, you're just going to be doing it twice. Okay, so legs are up 90 degrees. Then from here, take the legs out to 60 degrees. So remember, some of you may be at this stage with just one foot onto the floor. Then take your legs 30 degrees. Keep the tailbone tucking, belly drawing back, then all the way back up to 90. So again, 60 degrees. 30. 90. Now twice coming down to an inch off the floor. Ready? And exhale. Back up. Exhale, going back down. Exhale, back up. And bring your feet down. Okay, so just taking a little breather there, and just while I show you the next one of where we're going. So again, hands are going to push up. This time I'm going to be bringing the legs. I'm coming all the way up with a little lift. taking them back down, coming in, little lift. Okay, so if it feels too much when you're working with two legs, you can keep your arms back, you can be lifting up, and then you're going to be raising one leg. So coming down, lifting up, coming down, lifting up. Okay, and work maybe 2 or 3 on one side, and then you can work the other side, a little lift coming up. All right, so that way you'll be working your glutes a little bit more on that one. So for those that are going for this one, the one with the lift, so leg raise with a hip lift, so arms are stretching back and then bringing the legs in. Back down, back down, and up. Okay, so making the one that you do in the last one, you may have noticed that you've maybe dragged the sofa along the floor a little bit, like been dragging the weights along. Okay, so from there, just readjust yourself so you get back in. Now, we can do some scissoring of the legs. Again, if it does feel too much with two legs, have one leg bent, and we're doing those raises again, but they're slightly quicker this time, okay? So if you're working it with both legs, you're going to start off, bring the legs up. So starting off at 90 degrees, then bring one leg down. And then bring the leg up, take the other leg down. Bring that leg up, take the right one down, and then scissoring. Now I'm going to start to just speed this up a little bit. Now you notice the lower leg, maybe if it goes to the floor, that's great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. So keep scissoring the legs. And a couple more times. And bringing the legs down. Okay, bring your arms down. They'll feel as heavy as lead by now. Okay, so we're going to go into another movement similar to the one that we've just done. So working onto that one, but also then we start to grab hold of the leg. So as it comes in, we catch, we pull in, then we push it away. So when the other one comes in, we catch, we push. So let me show you first. Now you can work this, you can have the top part of your back away from the floor. Legs are straight up towards the ceiling to begin with. So we can stretch away with the right, and then in, push, in, push, in, push, in, push, in, push. So pushing the leg away, pulling it in, pushing it away, pulling it in, pushing it away each time. And then both legs up. Hold with the legs up. Now, if you're not with your legs up, we can do this next one with your feet on the floor, but take your knees out a little bit wider. So if you, but if your legs are up, then that's great. Just hold in there. You're going to place your hands behind the back of your head, so you can just have your fingers just at the back of the ears. Now, squeezing back into your belly to lift the top part of your back up. So you can either have legs, as I say, in this position. I'm going to go with straight legs, just taking the legs out. Then I'm going to work 10 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and then down. So just take a breather, wash you down. Let the legs just gently rock over from side to side. Okay, rock and roll yourself up to sitting. Now, once you come up to sitting, come over your legs, lift up, and then hands back. Slowly roll and come up, squeezing into your belly as you come up. So you're right up to standing. Now, I'm going to go back to the chair. We're going to do once just on each leg. So the leg will come in. It'll come to the outside of the right arm, outside of the left arm, in towards the center, towards your forehead. And then you do the same on the other leg. So let's move that out of the way. So I'm going to leave my chair here this time, so you just see it from a slightly different angle. So hands are onto the chair, stretch your legs back. Okay, lift the right leg, and then pulling in, squeeze into your belly as you work to get as high up the leg as you can. Take the leg back, and again to the left side. So pull in, lift up, make that connection, and take the leg back. Then into the center. So pulling in, rounding in, forehead in, stretch the leg back, and then bringing that leg down. Okay, ready for the other side. So taking the leg back, and then pulling in, squeezing in, lifting up high onto the outer edge of that left arm. Take it back, pull all the way back, and then the outer edge of your right, pulling in, pulling up, and then take it back. And then in through the midline, forehead in towards the shin, and take it back, and then placing the leg down. Okay, start to walk your feet back in, and come back up to standing. Okay, so hopefully we've found what's going on in there now. Now we're going to be back down onto your mat, lying down. We're going to be doing some twists. So we've got 3 different ways of working into the twist. So I'll probably have to move around a little bit so you can still see where I'm going with this. Now, by all means, if you're wanting to have like something to hold your arms down a little bit, then that's fine. You can do. So you can have like a weight on each hand, or you can have your hands underneath the sofa or something like that. It'll help to open you up a little bit more in the shoulders. So I'm just going to place that one weight there, and I'll pretend that those are weights as well. So I'm going to have my hand onto these ones and my arms out and holding onto the dumbbell. Now I'm going to bring my knees in towards the chest. I'm trying to keep my legs together as much as possible. Now my knees only want to be really looking up towards the ceiling, so not really right in, so just up towards the ceiling. I'm going to go over, we're going to do 6 times in total. So once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So it'll be like that. So we're just going to keep the legs in and then try and make the movements as you exhale. 1. Inhale back to the center. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Inhale. Exhale. 6. And back to the center. Okay, place your feet down for a moment. So that was stage 1. So stage 2, we're going to be bringing the knees in closer, and we're taking it towards the elbow on the side that we're going to. So draw your knees in nice and tight. Aim to keep the legs together as much as you can. Inhale, exhale, going over. Inhale back and over. 2. Inhale. Exhale over. 3. Inhale. Exhale over. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Inhale. Exhale. 6. Inhale back to the center and placing your feet down. Okay, so we've had 2 variations on that. 2 variations of the pose is called Jatara Oh, Parivartanasana. Right. Okay. So I had it rolling off my tongue earlier on, but then as things go on, they don't. So anyway, yeah. So Jatara Parivartanasana. So we're now going to take it. Legs are going to be up straight for those that can. If you feel that it's too much on your back, then go with one of the options which we've done, or one of the following stages, step 1 and step 2. So step 1 with legs up, step 2 with the knees brought in more and heading towards your elbow. So step 3 is the legs up straight, and you're taking your foot towards the hand on the side that you're working to. Bearing in mind, when you're going over to the right, you shift your hips over a little bit towards that left-hand side. So hopefully you can still see me on the floor when I'm here. I think you can. Right. Okay. So from here, make sure you're strong in your core. Lift your hips, move them over to the left. Exhale, bring your feet over towards the right hand. Inhale, coming up, shift your hips, legs over towards the left. Inhale up, shift your hips over to the right. Inhale, coming up, shift your hips over to the left. That's 4. Inhale up, shift your hips over to the right. That's 5. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, going over. And then back up again and bringing your legs down. Okay, you might want to just take a moment there, just let the legs, you can bring them up, just let the legs just rock over, jiggle your hips a little bit, just over from side to side. I'll just move myself just back onto the mat. Okay, now from here, so we've made that strong connection in your core. And then from here, draw your knees in, take a little rock and a roll, bring yourselves up to sitting. So we're going to be lifting up into a shoulder headstand now, so Shishasana headstand. Now, if you're finding a normal headstand, the men with your arms out in front, by all means, substitute that for your tripod headstand. But just watch with your variations. Know that you are working towards doing your full headstand with your hands in that position, rather than with your placing your hands down and then your head down. So I'm going to give you the instructions to go up into full headstand. And we're only holding there just for a few breaths. If you do want to go into your full headstand, by all means, just because for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to hold just for a couple of breaths or so. So if you do want to go up, you can listen to the instruction, then pause it, and then go up, spend as much as 5 minutes just up in your headstand. You can just hold up straight, that's fine, and then come down and then press play again, okay? So when you're going up in your headstand, making sure that you don't want to have your arms any wider than your elbows, so placing your hands in. Okay, when your hands go down onto the floor, we then bring our arms forward. So notice my elbows are not splaying out to the side. Interlock your fingers, just have both little fingers down onto the floor, one thumb on top of the other. Your wrists want to be wide, so it wants to be like that, not scrunching in. So nice and wide. So I'm going to show you then, I'll show you from this way, because then you can see, like, as you line up, you need to make sure. So I've got my hands down on the floor. Now, the crown of my head is right down. Now, I'm looking, so when I'm in this position, I'm looking at my feet. I can then straighten out with my legs. I start to walk in, walk in, walk in. I can take one leg straight up, kick the wall, have it down in front, and then let the other leg follow to come up. Or if you feel that you're able, you walk in, walk in, walk in. Bring your legs in, squeeze them in. This is going to give you a greater connection with your core. Squeeze in, hold there, hold there, hold there, hold there. Then start to open up by bringing your knees up. Still squeezing in, then lifting the legs. Stretch the legs up as much as you can, squeezing your belly. Now, as I say, I'm only going to hold here just one more breath. and then folding. When you come down, you're going to fold your legs back, squeeze back into your belly again, squeezing in, control, 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 and feet go down. Okay, so if you're going up into your headstand, then you can, as I say, pause me just for a moment, and then you can spend a little bit longer in your headstand once you're up. But try and working with that. So you can, to get the initial going up, that's fine. You can take your leg straight up and let the other leg follow. So if when we're working a little bit more into the belly, it's really good to pull the legs in, draw the legs in, and then lift and unfold. You'll start to feel that connection more going on in your belly. Okay. Now, once we're there and we've come back down, so after your headstand, you might want to place your hands at the back of your head, pull the head back, and then just let the hands slide up the head, bringing your chin in, and then you're going to do this like twice more. So just push the head back, let the hands slide up, and then again, so push, and then releasing down. Okay. So your shoulder stand. You can use your chair, you can use the sofa, you can use the wall. Because when you take your legs over the head, ideally, if you only come to halfway, this way we're going to get a little bit more control, and we're going to create more space in your belly. And then we can work in the future weeks, we can work on keeping that space, coming down a little bit lower, and work with a twist in that as well. So just for now, work your shoulder stand. So you are taking your legs over to the chair or to the wall. So from here, so now again, I'm going to spend like 1 or 2 breaths here. So if you know you're familiar when you go up, or you can listen to the instruction and then pause the video and then spend a little bit longer here. So legs are stretching away, arms are stretching back. That's it. Then bring your hands down by your sides, and then as you did earlier on, so we're going to work to lift, coming right up, hands onto the back. Now once you're up, you've taken a few breaths here, really stretching the legs, squeezing your belly, and then flex your feet, hinging at the hips. So when the legs come over onto the chair, you've got all of this space here. So keeping the hips working to lift up, hands supporting, pushing into my shoulder blades. Keep the legs strong. So you're going to take a few breaths here. I'm just going to come down. Okay, so when you are up and you're there, again, keep on working on that lift so we get this midsection nicely stretched out. Now, when we can work and keep this lift, we can start then just to push away a little bit from the chair. We'll start to bring the feet down a little bit lower. Once we can still maintain this space here, we need to maintain and keep as much space as possible. Then, as I say, in the future weeks, we'll work into a little bit of a twist on that. So if you've paused, if you're pausing me for a while, then that's fine to spend a little bit longer in that. And then once you're back, then we're back here. That's it. And then we're just going to take a little twist. Just to finish with a twist on here. So grab hold of your block. Place yourself up on your block. Legs are going out wide. So with my left leg, I'm going to be lifting that leg. I've realised I'm mirror imaging sometimes and then not the other times. So if you're listening to me, then it's okay. You'll get it the right way around. If you're just looking and following, then you may get the wrong leg in first. So I'm pulling up. My left leg is pulling in. My right leg is stretching out to the side. I'm going to hold on to that left leg. I'm going to take my left arm up, right back, behind me. I'm turning, looking back. My hand is into the wall. You can have your hand down onto the floor. It's only because my wall is handy. It's just there. So I can clear that space from my leg. Then I'm making sure that that leg is staying in the same direction as my toes. I can bring my right arm up and take it down over the leg. So, but by all means, just, you can take hold this way if you want to. So if it goes over the leg, then that's fine. You can encourage a little bit more of a twist, but make sure that encouragement comes from your breath. So we have 3 breaths here. And then we bring it back round and all the way back round. Make sure you're sat tall and then straighten the leg out and then over onto the other side. So pull hold onto that leg, sit tall, pushing away through the straight leg. So with this one, I'm going to take my right arm up. It's going to come back behind, create a little bit of space, just going across there. Now again, if the knee is staying in the same direction as the toes, arm can come up, it can come over the leg, turning and edging back. By all means, if you feel that it's better for you just to take hold and hugging round onto that leg, then that's fine. And then we look back round, bring it all the way back round. Straighten out with the legs. Now you can just edge yourselves forward so you're almost off that block, or you feel that the block is just there behind you and it's helping just to tip you forward slightly. So legs are nice and strong, pushing out, hands either push down by your sides, or if you're a little bit more flexible, they can come in front, then the hands can slide forward. Make sure it is your chest that's moving forward. So it can go as far forward as you feel you're comfortable to go. Now, when you get to there, take a breath and then use the stomach muscles, draw back to pull you all the way back up. Okay, and then again. So place the hands there, slide forward, controlled, and take a breath. And then squeezing back in to bring you back up. Okay, one more. This time, you're going to slide forward, hold for a little bit longer. So maybe take about 5 breaths here. So coming forward, wherever you feel it is comfortable for you. So you're inhaling, exhaling, 1. Inhaling, exhaling, 2. Inhaling, exhaling, 3. Inhaling, exhaling, 4. Inhale, exhale, 5. Now squeeze your belly, come all the way back up. Okay, you can move the block. You can bring your legs back in. And then you're going to prepare yourself for Shavasana. So lie yourselves down and make sure that you take a little bit of time to prepare to lay yourself down. So if, because obviously I can't play any music in this, I am going to play a little bit on some singing bowls. So you will hear those just tinkering away. But by all means, at this point, if you want to put some music on just for a few minutes, then you can do, or just lie perfectly still. Again, make yourselves as comfortable as possible when you lay down. And then when you are laid down, make sure that your hands are just onto your belly. So just allow your facial muscles to soften. Keep the breathing smooth. Noticing a gentle rise and fall of the belly each time that you breathe. So just now, just starting to bring the body back round. Tuning in to your senses. Being aware of all the things around you. the smells, the sounds, the sights. Being aware of the taste inside your mouth. And take a good stretch. As you stretch out, accompany it with a yawn. Notice how you feel. And then over the next couple of breaths, just bring yourselves up to sitting. So either through rolling to the right side or just rocking and rolling to come up. And then once you're here, just bring the hands back into the center. Bring thoughts back of your intention. Or if you're carried through with you, an affirmation. And just bringing all those back. And then to close our session, taking the hands up over the crown. Slowly start to draw the hands down. That's the Ajna chakra, your intuitive center. The Vishuddha, where you speak your truth and listen well. The Anahata, your center for love and compassion. The Manipura, for your will and your drive, your determination. The Svadhisthana, for new beginnings, creativity and change. And the Muladhara, for your strength and your stability. Bringing the hands back to the Anahata chakra. Softly open the eyes. Namaste. Okay, so there we go, week 1. Let me know how you all get on. Have fun.